Hello everyone and welcome back to the Owlbear Inn, where we play TTRPGs and have a hoot. Today we are doing our campaign wrap-up where we talk about Tales of Andrea, which has been going for 2 years and is over now. It's done. The campaign's over.
Yes.
Yay. But first, announcements. We're also doing our 2-year anniversary and giving away that thing. It's 6 sets of dice, all in one nice little neat package.
Ooh.
And we're doing a couple of them. All you got to do is type in !dice. Here, Lily will show you what that looks like. And accidentally enter while doing so. Type in the ! dice to win that. We'll remind you a few points. We're going to be selecting a few winners because it's the celebration of our 2-year anniversary and the end of this campaign. So why not? Other things. Tuesday is going to be something different. I'm probably going to be doing something completely different. I haven't even fully decided what I'll be doing yet. We'll figure it out. Honestly, probably playing some Company of Heroes 3, because I've been doing that in my free time, and it's a fun game. That's a fun free time thing to do. Wednesday's playing with Mutts. I think we're back to normal? Yes. I think we'll have most of the party members back for that. If not, we'll keep building a bridge and road. It's fun doing that. As for Thursday, that is Mystery of Bloodheim, which happens at 8 p.m. MT. I'm refusing to say the S or the D because it's just mountain time now. It's the in-between time. It doesn't make any sense to me anymore, so I'm just omitting to say it. That is getting interesting and colourful. That campaign's going on and doing some weird things. It's... ooh. Keeping track is difficult. Friday, we doing a stream of party game stuff, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and make a post, but let this just be known. Try and get into the vibe of like every other Friday's like party game night. So if you want to come by, feel free. We've been doing Jackbox, and that seems to. I don't think we've even chewed through all the Jackbox stuff, especially if we have some other members bring in their resources. We'll have a lot of maybe like trivia murder party. That could be really fun.
Oh yeah, that would be a fun one.
But yeah, I think we've had a pretty good time. If you want to just join as an audience member, I know sometimes it can be intimidating to like play games on stream and stuff. You can join as an audience member. We always enjoy that kind of interaction. There's like a little code on the screen. You just like put it into jackbox.tv and you can just vote for people and stuff, usually for different whatevers. So if you don't feel like playing, you can always participate live. It's pretty fun. But yeah, we do those later. So that's at like 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So.
Yes, for anyone in the later time frames or earlier time frames. Yeah, it has been fun actually. There's been quite a few good laughs come from those experiences so far.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there will not be a stream on next week Sunday, as that guy and I will be doing the 0 session for his next character for campaign 2. That's happening next week Sunday.
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Because I was like, because I spent all week going like, oh man, I get like a month off and like, yeah, I can really enjoy my Sundays and then get back into the groove of D&D. No,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, one more. Okay, all right.
One more. You get April off. It's still even
Right.
March next week,
Yeah.
which is
That's true.
bizarre to think, and at the same time disturbing to think that it's bizarre to think. Anyway,
It's gonna be 2025 before we know it, bro.
oh, don't say that. I'm gonna roll that intro, and then we're gonna roll into the questions and the things.
Yearn is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter will be heard in gales and floods. If not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
You loser.
Ah, Reuben sandwiches. All right, chat. What do you all
Delish.
think? Reuben sandwiches. What do you think of Reubens? I don't. I'm not a Reuben fan. I like
What?
Reuben bread.
It's
I like Reuben bread, but I don't like corned beef
Yeah.
or the
beef
other
is
beets
weird.
that go into a Reuben sandwich. I will happily eat Reuben bread
Oh
though.
man. I mean rye bread?
losers. Right.
No, there's
Is it?
there is
Are
a
you sure?
Reuben bread.
Okay. I've just
Pretty
always
sure
had it
there
on
is.
Jewish rye. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the best way to have it.
Yeah. If you have it on some
Good
Jewish
old
rye, it's
Jewish
pretty good.
jellies, man.
Oh man. I just bought like 40 pounds.
It is rye bread. Yeah. I'm
No,
calling the
40
complete wrong
pounds.
thing.
40 is a lot. 20
Rye bread.
pounds of corned beef today because it was all like half off because it's post St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So I was like, give me
Delish.
that, put it in my
What?
my
My
freezer.
belly. Got,
So,
Give it to
I
my
never drink
belly.
Baileys from a shoe. Drink Baileys from a shoe.
I'm old Greg.
I'm
I'm
old Greg.
Greg.
That needs to be a D&D character. Don't forget everyone to do ! Dice to enter in the giveaway. We're selecting 3 people who are going to get all that wonderfulness. And if you don't want to get anything for those dice, that is, or give away your address, that's perfectly fine. Amazon does do delivery locations where you can give us the address of the delivery location you want us to send it to, and we'll send it there. But if you don't want anything physical, there's also Steam. We'll do a $10 Steam card. $10
Nice.
Steam card as well. That works.
Options.
And that just requires you to friend my thing. There is a 3-day waning period after the account's friended, because they won't let you send anything for 3 days.
Like this is some kind of scam.
It's like a
trying
Trump-
to buy people things.
Exactly, yeah. That's the stuff you'll get. Those dash right there. Well, campaign wrap-up. We had a 2-year campaign that started the Albarian and is now done. We finished. Comments and thoughts. I want to say Peter and Ethan first, because you're the 2 characters who managed to keep the characters through the entire campaign.
Rock on.
Everyone else died or left.
Either by dumb luck or skill. I don't know. But we survived.
Better lucky than good, I always say.
Exactly.
I mean, it was very tempting to wish for the word of creation to have never been spoken, but
Oh, I did actually have an answer for that.
it just
temptation.
I get a headache and then I die or something.
No, he would have directly answered you with a, it never was.
He's like, haha, your understandings of the inner workings of the universe are faulty.
It's such a pitiful little land. Not even.
Then I would get a headache and then I would die.
And then, yeah, you would get a headache. Blood would start trickling down out of your nose and ears and eyes and mouth, and then fall
It's like
over.
in Indiana Jones when the guy's face melts off. He's not worthy.
Oh boy.
Whatever you do, don't look at it. Anyway, I can quote. I can quote those movies. Back to the original thing, the comment for both me and Peter. You go first.
Was there a question?
Thoughts.
I was asking for thoughts and comments.
Oh,
How do you feel
just
being
in general?
just in general? Like, how do you feel about the
Just
fact
in
that
general?
Brolog
Let's
and
go back to the
Yolandriel
Rubens.
were the
Yeah.
only
Back to the
ones
Rubens.
who survived?
Well, yeah. Let's see. Man. So I don't know. It felt like the end didn't have like a lot to do with like Brolog, you know. Yolandriel for that
matter.
I guess his wish did kill the guy. So in that sense, Yolandriel's did it. But yeah, it was kind of like it felt like it was over like a couple weeks back when we defeated Eshnar and killed the dragon before that. And that we kind of just
Priorities.
That probably comes from the fact of both of our characters not really paying that close attention to what was going on with we were both like, we have to get these things done first and then let's do that thing. And then
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was like a lot of times where like somebody's talking and Brolog isn't there. Can't listen. I can't know.
Right.
But yeah, that is true. We definitely had different, more brute force priorities. I'm kind of glad that neither of us had to do the wish because
Yes.
if we did, I just like staying with the character. I don't think it would have gone well, at least for Brolog. Anyway,
Well, it might have gone really well
this
for
is the
Brolog.
thing. This is the thing. Yolandriel
good point.
would have wished for what he wished for,
True.
but it just would not have included the rest of you. It would have just been his wish because that would be his in the moment choice of like, okay, this thing's coming.
Yeah. Well, so like for Brolog, his desire was to like ascend so he could protect his friends and the other followers of the creed. But if he had to like verbalize that, or in his mind, like I think he may have just like wished to been invulnerable, like undefeatable in battle or something like that, which would have been fun for Brolog, but
not very
bad
useful
for everyone.
I would have had
love
fun
the
with that as
alternate
well.
Scenario.
Oh, I'm sure he would have.
Brolog gets the wish,
Brolog-
and he just ascends, and then everyone there is
Yeah.
like, "What the heck?"
What do we do now? You just ascended and left us here.
Yeah. He's not the smartest. I mean, he tries his
Now
best.
he cannot get involved in mortal affairs. God
Yeah.
damn.
So yeah, I think that was good. As far as for the outcome, yeah.
Yeah, I love how both of us had idiot characters. Cause like, I'd like to think of Yolandriel as being super wise, because he's been through a few things in life. He's just kind of a dummy. Like he's just not quite like he's just a little
He's
dumb.
been referred to as himbo a few times.
He's a himbo.
A himbo, yeah.
That's nice. That's Reen types that in chat, right? Yolandriel is a himbo.
Oh, is a himbo. There we go.
Yes.
Right on
Yeah.
cue.
Oh, 100%. No, I was when the wish came in and I read everything that you all sent me, I was like, okay, ooh, this makes it really unfortunate for Prologue because that kind of, ascension right now. Yeah, that leaves him out of basically the entire ending. That's a little tragic. Sorry, Peter. The storylines, though, I mean, your storylines came to a close, and basically every single time we were talking about the main reason and plot line to why you're all in Andrea, the two of you just were never listening. And it's because you were staying in character.
Yeah.
It's part of the tragicness of it, though, if you use that
Yeah.
technique, is in the end, you won't know what the heck's going on. And you'll be sitting there
this
like,
is the thing.
what do
I
I
have
do?
lived this. I've lived this before, so I knew what you were doing. I was like, it's going to
Everything
be...
about the campaign I threw you on that one is different from this one.
No,
Everything
but I knew,
about it was different.
But I knew at the core, like, I was like, okay, I can kind of see where he's going with this unknown enemy, and it's like I can see his thought process, and I was like, yeah, I can, I've known you quite a while, Murray. I've been through
Well, we can go through
three
piece
and a
by
half
piece of what you
campaigns.
think it was, and I'll just tell you you're wrong because most of the things you assumed were wrong.
Well, yeah, for sure. Or was I just playing character?
Or was I just
Getting a
playing
little
character?
fourth wall
Damn
meta, fourth
too.
wall meta, fourth
Little
wall.
meta's fourth wallings here.
I'm
Layer
curious
upon
as
layer.
far as like the people who like watched like the difference, what I call the first half of the campaign, second half, aka when Paraspatis died. Like
episode 27.
what like the if there was like a different feel or anything, because it was different for me just because I was taking Prologue was taking a more upfront role in what was happening and not just like, you tell me to go over there, hit things, I go hit things. And but yeah, I guess I wonder if there was any difference in like the feel of what was happening, especially since it was sort of like Prologue and Yolandriel, who are not the smartest, kind of being in charge.
I wonder
Rather
if
than
me
the
charming Prologue had anything to do with that, because I came around that time, or Jardis
You
did,
did.
around the time that Paraspatis died, and so I changed you from a grunt into a leader. You had to assert yourself into. It's like, look, we can't.
you
And then
can't be charming.
Respect was born,
Yeah.
and that's when a leader thrives.
And Jardis remembered it the rest of the campaign.
Oh yeah.
None of that nonsense ever happened again.
Sometimes you just gotta smack your employees around. That's an awful philosophy.
Oh man. If you could cast charm in real life and deal with those consequences, that would be so hilarious.
Every day.
I just need to make it through this next hour. I think it was just 1 hour, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an hour.
So
Imagine doing
it
that
wasn't
though
even that long.
in a grocery store. You're irate about a broken item that you purchased. They charm you and get you to agree not to do anything. You drive home, sit down in front of the TV, like, that was really good. Oh, that dick. Get back up and rush back to the store. Like, you charmed me.
It's like, do you have any proof, sir, or do you have a feeling about it?
Oh,
Little did they know there was an enchantment wizard level 14. You don't even remember.
oh, modify memory. Tasty.
John from the back. Keeping
All right.
2 extra shots up his sleeve.
We got some questions here. Let's ask one. Who to start with? There are 5 of us. Let's include some dice rolls in here.
If only there were a D5. Shoot.
There's a D20. We'll just do some rollies. Roll D20, everyone.
Okay.
Oh, I got a natural 20.
God, I love this die.
17.
17.
19.
19.
Sorry,
11.
11.
I'm talking to Cathris about Rubens.
Oh.
I rolled a
Cathris is a
16.
cook. That'll be you, Peter.
He said he's rising some rye bread, so I'm like,
Ooh.
Talking about caraway
Uh,
season.
Michael the Howard sent me a bunch of questions that I will read through later, but I think they're directed at people, but I have no idea. Brolog, how did Brolog drink? Cup to mouth or dunk the trunk?
That's a good
Cup to
question.
mouth.
Cup to mouth.
Yeah.
And technically,
I
it
will
would
say-
be dunk the trunk and then trunk in the mouth. That's how they don't drink through their nose. That is a common misconception.
There, I think, in my mind, there's some opportunity for Brolog to hold the mug with his trunk and then do it that way. But yeah, he didn't really utilize the hose methodology.
So you could have triple fisted some drinky drinks.
Yeah.
I imagine that would feel like actually snorting beers through your nose, and that would not feel good.
I feel like it would. That'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now, what's the size? What do you think the size of the mug Brolog's using is? Because we've got like a 16-ounce glass standard. And what would Brolog's standard be?
Well, so this guy, which for reference,
pretty
there's
big.
my head, right? And Brolog is, a foot and a half taller than me, plus probably 200 pounds of muscle, what have you, or more, 3. So I would guess that it'd be 50% bigger than this.
Okay.
The big
For one that was made for him, so I don't know that was available that many places.
Well, they're fairly common race inside Quail. I imagine they would be pretty available for mugs that size.
64-ounce bighorn.
I guess I thought the question was when he was in Andrea, but yeah, I guess
Oh,
he was in Quaila for a bit.
Relly's tankard is his
The
shot
majority of
glass.
time.
yeah. Guys, like heavy, carrying this big old barrel of ale, and Brolog just comes over, takes it, pops it open, and starts drinking from it. That's a
Only
good
the
size.
honey mead, though.
Contrast in size from Relly to Brolog that would be a good duo comedy poster.
She's like
Really?
a toddler.
The size of his forearm.
Yeah. A buddy cop movie of sorts.
Twins, if you will.
I got this image in my head just there. Brolog comes in the door, all intimidating, and then Relly pulls back his ear. She's on his shoulder and says, "Hi, guys."
Just standing chilling on the shoulder. Oh dear. Oh no. Alright, who got the next lowest?
17?
I think,
I
what
got
was yours?
16.
You got 16. Oh, Ben. Wow, we all rolled really well. That'll be you then, Ben.
Okay.
Here's a
Yes.
question for you. So now that his name is Gartis, and his
Yes. We
retirement,
changed from GIF to GIF.
yeah, has his parents that can babysit for him, do you think he had any Seder tots?
Seder tots. I don't know. He might have gotten over his social proclivities. He was he was not very interested in anything relating to extra romantic affairs. But I think now that things have calmed down, that could have been a possibility.
All we see right now is
Oh,
half of
hold
your
on.
face. So like, he's
Let
got
me
over his
Move my
social
mic a
proclivities.
bit. There we go. Okay, so yeah, his he was a very awkward little goat man. I would say the possibility is there, but that would definitely not be his priority.
Would you have had Seder tots with our Seder mama? that we met
That
earlier
would
in
probably be the
campaign?
more likely one,
Um,
or what's
Drow's
her name
character?
from
Oh.
Excalibur.
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 Or what's her name from the Marcus's library? She was pretty aggressive. She might have locked
Oh.
Jarvis down. So.
She might have lost Jarvis.
Eleona.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
pretty aggressive
That-
at one point.
That
I don't know.
probably happened a few times with complete consent, of course. But
Yeah,
definitely like
for sure.
dungeon-esque
But it's like,
situation.
if anything would happen for Gardas, it might not have been self-initiated. Let's just throw that
Yes.
out there. So it might have been like, well, this is it. This is the next stage of life or something. I don't know. But we'll just say Gardas was not very. He wasn't a flirtatious boy. Let's just throw that out there.
He had no riz, to use the
Yeah, no
parlance of
risk,
today.
none whatsoever. No game, no suave, nothing going on. Definitely no riz for that boy.
Potential Seder tarts by dice roll.
We'll go half-baked Seder tots.
Have to be. Oh no. Oh no.
Not okay.
Oh,
That
no.
was very poor wording. We will say that the idea for Seder tots is not a bad idea.
There we go.
I apologize to anybody in the audience that might have. Yeah, I realized what I said as I said it. So let's. That was not.
Connotations.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
It's okay. We'll carry on then quickly.
Yeah.
17. That would be the nice Tangerine Rally here.
That's me.
Rally. Since you were, I think, keeping the best notes, this is from the Zelda Elf 90 Studios. Since you were, I think, keeping the best notes, what were your favorite quotes? They spelled favorite
Okay.
wrong, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm
So
curious.
there are two that spring to mind immediately. I will have to do some research to find some other ones because there were plenty. But y'all is an abomination.
Yeah,
That's right on the
that
top.
needs to be a
And-
T-shirt. That was so
And
good.
can I offer you a good berry in these trying times?
Yeah,
oh,
this-
man.
Now I'm trying to think of quotes.
Is any
Right?
proper?
One of my favorite noises Ben ever made is in the ads. The oh baby
Oh, baby
Babaluba.
Babaluga. Oh, baby Babaluba.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good one.
Y'all as an abomination was the funniest just clipped moment to me because I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, of course. Brolog would just be like, okay, yeah, no, we are not even considering any of this as a language option.
It's like you are accidentally being offensive. Well, I'm not sure it's accidental.
I'm like,
In fact, I'm almost sure I wrote down a quote somewhere. I'm almost
let's see,
sure.
let's look through our
'cause
perspective notebooks.
Yeah, I'm
Peter
flipping
has
through
said
mine.
some things that have absolutely made me giggle. So
A lot of them did come from Peter. I do know there's one point we were like, I think it was like session. It was in the teens of sessions still, and you
Whoa,
said
that's
something, Peter, and I was wait, hang on. He's right, and I wrote it down, and so like, Peter calls the whole campaign and circled it. But I can't remember what session or what part it was. But you said basically what was going on for
What?
one part of the whole thing. I had to adjust on some things and go, no, I'm just going to adjust the approach and feel it slower.
Oh boy, I wonder what it was.
Something about Marcus. We say as
I
we
didn't
start.
even know Marcus was real back then.
Rumor. There was
The kings weren't really dead.
something about him being basically behind everything.
Mm,
Because like when you first all heard his name or heard rumor of him, you're like, just watch, he's the one who's behind it all.
I remember that. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't remember that very easily. That's why we take notes.
Yeah, especially early on, I'm just looking, like every sixth note was, this person has insulted me. In caps.
I love that so much. That is what is worthy. It's like, okay, this needs to be remembered. I love that so much.
No, this
Oh.
wasn't a quote, but this was an event that I quite enjoyed. When Firestorm was harassing the Redcaps and stealing all of their hats and claiming that he was in charge because he had the most hats.
Oh God, yeah.
That was a good time.
That was a little ridiculous.
Oh, that's when I think Brolog wasn't here for that.
I wasn't,
Yeah.
but I watched the video, so I know what you're
Oh,
talking about.
okay. It's
Oh, I love this note. It's just there's without any context. I'm just gonna read it to you. Crash and burn at end of your flight? Question mark.
That could be referencing quite a few things.
yeah, there's a lot.
I had a note from the Dream from Excalibur. It was like, these are the smells and the vision. And then it says, now all is dark and spook. I failed my charisma check.
Oh no.
I was like, ooh.
I will always remember Peter's outbreak of, all I've wanted this whole campaign is to succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Man, it was like, I don't know if you guys have looked at Brolog's
It's
like
mind-boggling.
stats, but like feats, stats, all of it's been going in to make it so I can just pass wisdom saving throws. Never did. I may even pass like once. All campaign.
Yeah, I wrote these notes like your laundry roll. I'm just realizing now because there's drawings in the margins as I went along.
I have a
Oh.
small note. We would like to go to Goothmarsh. Do we trust Kostia? No. Do we trust Nero? Yes.
Oh.
Like that was the whole note.
I just have grog jog in huge letters underlined.
Ooh.
Oh, the grog
no.
jog.
That
That was what was up.
That
That
happened
was
over a
time.
year ago.
But why the
That's the first
stealing?
time we went to
Because
Charles.
stealing is hilarious.
Yes, the competition. That was pretty fun.
Hearing that from Brolog as well was just a, oh, what?
Just drew a halberd. One day, just in
Ooh.
the middle of my notes, pretty much.
It's like Peter Parker drawing the initial sketches for the Spider-Man costume. It's like, yes,
Yes.
watch it be born.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Let's move to a question for Yolandriel, Ethan.
Yo.
What would Yolandriel, that's how it's spelled, Drael, feel if his daughter grew up to be a werewolf?
Whatever. You know. This.
How would he feel if she grew up to be the next voice of the deities?
Well, I mean, that's one. First of all, it would be her birthright. Secondly, she has to earn it because that's how that works. So she doesn't just get them.
Don't pull an Eshna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't just
That's
get
how we-
them.
Restart our problems in campaign 2.
The werewolf thing, though, like I thought in the very, and it did affect me at a certain point, but I thought it was going to like hugely dramatically shift how I play the character. And then I was just kind of like, oh, it just kind of gives me an extra attack, and I'm like, I get to do cool things now. Like, okay, like that's fine. I thought it was gonna be like a permanent, like, oh man, what's the moon doing this week? You know, I thought that was gonna be an issue.
What's the moon doing?
It was, and then you asked someone who likes to play with chemicals
Ah,
to help you
boy.
out. The boy.
The
good
good
old
times
Kyle's
boy.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet cheese.
my sweet cheese.
Good old sweet boy.
Yes.
Sweet child. Juliana's going to be a fun one to play around with. A fun character to develop, that is. Especially with Yolandriel and Eula as the parents. Whew.
It's gonna be a weird one. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a weirdo.
I'm so disappointed you didn't go with Eulandriel.
Eulandriel. Hi, I'm Eulandriel. You can
Not to
just
be
call me
confused
Yule.
with Yolandriel. My father's name.
My father's name.
You can call me Yule, though, not Yule. That's my mother's name.
Look, there's a lot they didn't think through before naming me, so
Hi, that's
Mistakes
kind of
were
like
this
made.
is the alternate universe.
mistakes for me.
Hugh Landry. I think you went well with the name you chose.
One of these days, I'm
Less
just going to
convincing.
randomly introduce an NPC from a different universe, and he's going to say, Eulandriel? No, it's Eulandriel.
You Landry.
It's like the first return of the deities, the voice of the deity. That was woman. It was Eulandriel, not Eulandriel.
You Landrail.
Eulandrael.
Hey,
Okay.
Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
That was a 19. I guess it's me and Barnaby the Bear. What happened to Barnaby the Bear? Okay, so Barnaby the Bear's home was inside the wastelands. It's gone. Barnaby the
Yeah.
Bear. Hang on, let's.
To be honest with you, kind of forgot about him.
Hey,
I don't know who that is.
you would have loved Barnaby.
Barnaby was
Bear.
a good dude.
I'm sure
We
I would have loved him.
Almost convinced him to come with, which would have been awesome.
So close. He would
Does he
have
have any notes
died.
on Barnaby?
Well, yeah, he probably would have died. Would have resurrected him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Resurrected.
Resurrected. Sorry, who had the country character?
Okay,
The cornbread ass voice?
Barnaby the
Resurrected?
Bear survived. I just rolled for it
Oh,
to see if
good.
he could survive, and he survived. He made
Led
it out
a
in time.
long, healthy bear life.
Yes, he
Many
relocated himself to the forests instead, and lived a nice, happy dire bear life.
Good.
Next question.
Yeah, next question is. Well, I've got two more from the house. I'm just gonna start reading down on the Michael Howards here. If anything happened to Wisp and Sabre, okay, I'll save that for later. Is Gartus's parents happy or being? I'm gonna read it directly. Is Gartus's parents being so happy to see him because of his wish, or merely their presence and they genuinely happy? Okay, are they happy because of the wish, or are they happy to actually genuinely meet the Gartus boy? I guess genuinely happy to meet the Gartus boy? He's rich?
Yeah, the wish didn't specify anything about how the parents would feel. It was
True.
just, I would like to meet them.
They probably had the idea and realization of, oh hey, he's an important fella. He's rich. He's got money. We're in the boonies and slums. We had to go in debt and sell our child to get out of the debt. And now he's got riches. Let's get on his good side. Or they could have been genuinely, oh,
They are
we're so
very-
happy.
They are very, very lucky Eulandriel did not hear that conversation. Because as soon as you started talking as those two characters, I was like, oh, Eulandriel would hate them. He would absolutely despise these two. Because I despise these two characters. Like instantaneously, I was just like, you don't get to act this way. You don't get to act all. No, you left that. You abandoned your boy. To quote, "There will be blood." I have abandoned my boy.
Where's my son? Give me back my son.
Also, good thing Brolog pieced out because Gartus was his official friend. Those parents could have been beheaded there in a second.
That's true. Let's not Vancouver by nights. Hey, Vancouver, we are celebrating.
These alternate timelines.
We
You
are
know who
celebrating a
else
2-year
is-
anniversary and
You know
giving
who else
things
is
away.
Prologue's official friend? Rally!
Rally!
Yes!
That,
Technically.
I
so
love it.
that is the risk of
That was the
doing
best,
wishes,
arc
because
ending.
wishes do have the power to force certain situations on things, and I don't like forcing those situations on players if they don't think the character or don't want the character to go down that path. But a wish puts you in that situation of
We're friends and you will like it.
it's kind of out of all of our power. That's one of the reasons I will never give you all a wish again. The wish spell is a no. It's
Sorry,
no.
I fucked it up
It's no,
for
no.
everybody. Sorry.
Oh no, you
language
didn't. I gave it to you for a reason. But that's the only time you'll ever see me give a wish spell to the party. Because of that, because
did we
it
mess
does
it up
force
that bad that
situations.
the only thing that could fix it was a wish?
No. That's all you'll get
I
from me on
liked our
that one.
chances. I liked our chances.
It was like in college. The only 100 I ever got in a paper was from a class where he's like, I don't give out hundreds on papers, but if I didn't get 100 on that paper, I would not have passed the class and I would have had to take it again. So I'm like, was that 100 that I deserved, or was that 100 that just was like, look, you've done good enough this semester, I don't want to see you again? Like, it's like,
That's the best example.
was that the wish where you're just like, look, you guys have done really good this campaign. I'm just gonna let it pay off because I really feel like there was that teeny tiny chaotic part of me that was willing to test, like, how much could I mess this up? How much could I mess this up? It was like Gardis was, or at the time Jardis was getting lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? He was like, all of these old feelings were coming up for, because we just touched this giant magical gem. It's like all is out of perspective. So,
Oh, so-
the master emeralds, we had made contact. So I know it has its own, but I just imagine just this giant green, amazing, powerful gem that
Pretty
controls
much.
everything.
Well, I wouldn't say controls everything, but yeah, it's close to.
Has some influence.
The Jartis
Yeah.
Gartis had the wonderful aspect of being chaotic and being a form of chaos. Because that's part and part you as well, because Zelda of 90 Studio said remember the time when Jartis made Murray Spit take out of his tea because he jokingly said he wanted to cast Revivify on the king.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny.
Wait, why? Because I had no idea if you were serious or not.
We just barely scraped by the skin of our teeth on killing him. and it
Two
was
of you
just like-
died.
it
Just
was
for a
just
second.
like,
Just for a second.
"Cast
I got
Revivify."
better.
I got better.
She turned me into a newt.
Oh,
I
I'm
just
not dead yet.
just did some
I
research.
feel
We could get another
better.
wish spell. One of us goes wizard and makes it to level 17. Then we could get one.
yeah. When I say wish is no, that as in that spell, I will not let people take. That's how much I won't. I
Kinda
won't
like
play
the
with
player
wish.
shift thing in our last campaign.
Because so if I have a table that is very agreeable and agrees, a wish spell and a wish word is something that the DM can absolutely always say no. That is not something you can wish for. Rephrase that and phrases it for simple tasks or simple requests like
Well, we still have divine question because that was helpful.
the what?
Wasn't it divine question?
Divine intervention. No, you won't because you don't have any
No.
clerics in your next party. If you can phrase small things like I wish for us to have water for a year, small things like that, not instead of I wish for this entire scenario to change or I wish for my worst enemy to die, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can have wish spells, but there are 3 of you who would mess with a wish spell far too much for me
Which one
to
you pointing
allow
at?
a
Can't tell. We point at.
definitely pointing
What
out the
about
Tangerine,
divination,
Ben,
though?
and
What if we-
Michael.
if we choose-
Oh,
Michael's
yeah.
not here. Those 3 are not trustworthy with the wish spell, so it's not on the game. Absolutely not.
What about divination? Will we be able to use that? Is anybody in that spell realm? I had it as a additional druid spell. That was the only reason I had it. But
The
Where
only
does-
person who's super magic-y for next campaign is Peter's character. You've all kind of gone
are you
real
saying we have
martial.
no? Wait, what?
You don't have
no.
any healers. You're screwed.
Why did we do that?
Is it too late to change?
It's too late to apologize.
It's fine.
Too late.
Things will compensate for different ways.
Hey, we were a very magical group before, so maybe it might be
Mhm.
nice to see like how the real world works. Because like it seemed like we had some kind of something for something.
You do have one person who can do healing stuff, but it's one person who's not built to be specifically a healer.
Is that me?
It has the aspects of healing. No, definitely not
Oh.
you. No, your class is built for killing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
I've
should
got
have
murder in my
investigated
heart.
possibilities before all this.
My class is built for investigation and thieving.
Now, this does bring to light, though, the fact that there is this thing called a medical kit. And if you're proficient inside medicine and you have a medical kit, you can stabilize and even potentially bring people back to life with a medical kit, which is non-magical. So one of you might want to invest in that.
Interesting.
Someone actually dies, and I just put a band-aid on it and like a single
Man.
smooch, and then they're okay.
No.
Just kiss them.
Peter's character is starting with healing
Medical
spells. To be
Yeah.
clear,
So there will
he's
be
just
healing
not
spells.
innately good at it.
I cast Kiss da Boo Boo.
I kissed strawberry shortcake band-aid.
It's got
Nice
these
band.
little tiny little strawberries with smiley faces and little arms, you know, that kind of stuff. Why is Hank back? Whose wish
Hank.
led to that?
That would be
Sandrine, I'll
me.
let you explain that one.
So Hank is a punk, and I loathe him. And so part of my
Great
wish
guy.
was, I think, for him to stop being so sleazy, was my wording, about the whole Wagoner's Way thing, because he had been up to some shenanigans of the no good sort and had stolen some stuff from my parents' inn and was like trying to sue us for infringement of intellectual property that he had stolen from us in the first place. Giant Sleemo. So I wished for him to stop being a skis, and it turned out a lot better than anticipated.
Yeah, he stopped being a skis, retired and moved away. And gave you his entire franchise.
Yeah.
That's friendship.
Yeah, that's friendship? No. That's the power of a wish. Which is why I don't like them. Yeah, that's why Hank. That's why he showed up and he was there. Is because he genuinely I dropped the ball that he was being a sleazeball 3 times on these lot. But half of them don't pay attention when their characters aren't there. The other half just didn't catch the hints being dropped that Hank was being skeevy and trying to steal things from Relly's Wagoner's Way. And then came out finally with Lauf coming up with the recipe saying, Hank stole this from you and is suing you, you just paid a stupid fine. And you're not guilty for anything, and Hank is responsible.
So you're saying Hank was Darden and he was trying to incorporate him into his family of
No, he's just trying to put him out
restaurants?
of business. So he could open up his own.
So he is Darden.
I don't know who that is.
They own Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse and all that stuff.
Close. He wanted to be that. And then you all went to the what's-it-called-y place.
Where we met Martha?
Where you met Martha, yeah. And
Well, I
had
have
the
that written down.
opportunity to confront Hank and instead just sat there for 5 days outside in the lockdown camps waiting for the ship to arrive. I'm like, he's right there. You all know he's here. So that was a whole
that wasn't
plot
my
line
business.
that never
Danira.
That
got...
was my business.
Danira, thank you. A whole plot line that got shoved under the carpet.
He always treated Brolock well. I know that.
It's because he was using you for information. Can you call that treating well?
He knew how to manipulate. Hanked his way in there.
Ah,
I feel like
That
Hanks
goes
and
in.
Franks are on the same level. I'm sure there's good Franks out there. I haven't met one, but I'm sure they're out there.
I know a good Frank.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the food, the wiener.
Oh,
Franks.
No.
Hanks and Franks are the same
Apologies
thing.
if your
They're
name is
mushed up.
Frank and you're actually a decent person, but I've not met a decent
Oh.
Frank. I don't know why.
My
I don't know
little
why.
nephew's name is Franklin.
See, there we go. He's probably like
turtle?
doing good for the name of Frank. going on out.
Franklin like the what?
Like the turtle. Like
Yeah.
the turtle who goes to school.
Franklin
he
the
wears a
turtle
backpack?
was so dope.
Oh,
Franklin
the
goes to
turtle.
school.
It
Yeah,
was, in, it was
Franklin.
in the same era as like
Huh.
Little Bear and
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I caught the
about
Little
those
Bear side
two
of
all the
things.
time.
I played Franklin the Turtle for Game Boy Advance on one of my Benjagaba streams.
Ooh.
Really?
I did. It didn't last very long because
It's a game for like 2-year-olds.
yeah. I was like, okay.
All right, Prologue.
Hmm.
How does Prologue feel about having the largest temple out of all the gods? Now, to clarify that for Zelda of 90 Studios who asked that, largest temple in his town, in the Loxodon and Troll City. It's not the largest temple of
All of them.
all of the gods. Definitely not. But it's the largest one in that town.
So how does he feel about that? He probably doesn't feel much about that. It's a building. It means mostly nothing.
He's got too much of a divine perspective.
So he's very interested in what the Creed followers are doing, on how they are protecting and pushing isn't the right word, but I can't think of a better one. Pushing the Creed out into the world. But as far as the building, yeah, I mean, it's just another place for him, probably.
It has to be the largest because he's tall as heck.
Yeah.
Real.
He wasn't even the
It's gotta be
biggest.
able to fit. Yeah, it's got to be able to fit Loxodons.
And trolls, which they're fairly similar sized. Actually, the town itself, what would it be called?
It would probably just stay
Prologueville.
Nutra.
Just Nutra.
Wait, hold on.
Prologueville.
Trolls are
That'd be
large?
Yeah, trolls are large.
I don't know why this whole time I just kept imagining them as like another goblin.
No.
Yeah, I didn't
no.
think they were that big either.
Probably
They're
because
big.
of
That makes sense though, because in all depictions of any trolls are large creatures.
except in that Netflix show, Disenchantment.
Oh yeah,
Trolls are little short guys in that show.
that's because they're trolls. It's a satirical. Satirical commentary? Is that the terminology for it? Instead of using trolls by the fantasy terms, they're using trolls by the online term troll.
Ah,
Yeah.
small.
I want to make a dice roll. 1 sec.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, it's 19. Town is not going to be called Nutra. It's going to be
Ooh.
called Creed.
Creed. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Prologueville?
Like the band.
No longer neutral, they are now Creed. I love it.
Creed.
That better end with Creedence Clearwater Revival. That's better be the full name.
I want to know.
Because they're followers of the
Have
Creed.
you ever seen Brologue?
Have you ever seen The Rain?
Have
There
you
we
ever
go.
seen The Unyielding?
Purple Rain.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Unyielding? Well, these
I
three have.
heard it through the grapevine. Sorry.
I love how we're all just giving just enough clips to not be copyrighted, but it's
Yeah.
just like
It's-
the 2-second blips through all these songs. That's beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah. Parse that, our algorithm. Please don't do that.
Please
Please.
don't.
That's not a challenge. That's just me being cheeky.
Cheeky.
Oh,
What
yeah, I
happened to
forgot
you?
about your mom.
Wait,
What
did you get
happened,
to make a your mum joke?
Yeah.
long time ago.
That's not because of me.
No,
I mean-
so
Billy
Yolandra
Joel?
was like having some kind of I don't know, tussle or something with somebody else, and I was like, I have a suggestion. It's an ancient insult. You just say
God.
your mother. Gets them every time somehow. Something like that.
To
Something.
make those jokes.
May I suggest your mother? Anyway, my dog is freaking out. 1 second.
Potato.
Have fun.
It's the potato.
It's the potato.
Oh boy, this is quite some time ago, Murray. I think you need to address the relevance of this
It
clip.
was a long, long time ago.
In
And
a
it was one of
galaxy
those
far, far
things that
away.
it was said, and I was sitting there like, I'm just going to brush this under as quickly as possible.
A long, long time ago in
What?
a galaxy
Because
far,
I'm
far
not
away.
I'm not actually a fan of your mother jokes. They irritate me more than
I think
any
we
other
addressed
kind of
that a
joke.
couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're not funny.
Yeah, they're not
Admittedly.
funny, and I don't know why people make them, but it's moving on.
Real quick, I have a game. that
Oh
I've been playing.
gosh,
I've
I
been
got
playing
so
with-
freaking close.
You did. You were one suit away. So I've been playing a game where I have a deck of 52 cards, normal, standardized playing card deck. You have to guess both the suit and say like the Queen of Hearts or the Jack of Spades or the Two of Clubs or something like that. If you get into the number, you're pretty cool. If you get into the suite, you're also pretty cool. Get into the number and the suite, you're the coolest of all time. So, right here, I have a deck. So everyone, just throw out something.
Six of spades.
Queen
Six
of Hearts.
Spades, Queen of Hearts.
I'm just gonna choose my
Remember
favorite.
yours, because I won't.
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds,
Ooh.
Ace of spades.
Ace of
Ace of
spades.
spades.
Got the 3 of hearts.
Ooh.
Hearts, I'm cool.
Oh, you're cool. All right, second
King
coolest
of
is 5
Jacks
of
is for
diamonds.
Michael. Okay, diamonds. Here we go. Getting a little closer.
And third coolest, 7 of spades.
So that's both of us.
Come
That looks like
on.
the
Do we
clubs,
have
my
some
dude.
spades? Or no,
It-
There's
that's
clubs.
Spades. Clubs. 7 of clubs. Do we have any? Oh, Jesus
Nope.
Christ! Good thing I'm showing to the
King
camera.
of Jacks. King of Spades. Okay, so I got.
I didn't say King of Spades.
No, that's what Michael Howard said.
Okay,
King of
I was like,
Jacks.
I didn't
You said
say
King of Jacks and then went to King of Spades.
All right, so we have 2 cool guys. So
Pretty cool.
we'll revisit that. We'll revisit that.
Well,
If you
3.
guess on the dot, you're the coolest of the evening. So sorry, there was no King of Jacks or King of Spades.
We should
King
make a
Jacks
King of
just isn't
Jacks.
a thing.
It just isn't. Yeah, we should make one though. Okay,
The
let's
King of
see.
Jacks.
Next question. Really? What was your favorite
me.
bardic song you used for inspiration?
Hmm.
You know, that's a good question. I don't recall all of the songs that I used, but I did have, and I still do, I have a Relly playlist that I have just
Ooh.
been referring to.
Ooh.
Where did that playlist go? Good golly.
Good golly, oh my gosh.
Good golly, my Molly.
Ah, here it is. Okay. Let's see. Probably the bardic version of Megalovania, just because it's hilarious.
Suiting. Suiting.
Considering our other Kirby shenanigans had to alter their course because they can't defeat Sans, so it's quite fitting.
She's like, I can't finish this game. I'm just gonna not.
Dude, those bardic / medieval versions
Mhm.
of songs are so chef's kiss.
Oh, the chefs are in love.
Oh, here's a good quote from the that Santa's brought up. Hey Peter, what was the race of the King of Laban called?
Hoogliopid?
Yeah.
Ah, you pronounced it
I
correctly.
said it
Julio.
right. Hooglopid.
Oh, nice, nice, I did it.
Hoogla, hoogada, hooya, hooga, hoogada, hooga, hoogapid.
I heard a Julio.
Julio pig, actually.
Julio pig.
Julio pid. Oh Jesus! Good thing there was not a drink there.
You keep
I just
knocking
knocked over
things.
my book and cards. That's all that happened. Okay.
Oh. That's a good quote.
Yeah. I will say, foreign languages and pronunciation of atypical names are like my worst things in life.
Oh, dude. R.I.P. Hey,
Like-
speaking of Huglepids, what happened to Ukto? I
Ukto?
assumed he beat the Titan guy with the giant spoon, the magical giant spoon.
So he kept that giant spoon because it's dope,
Mhm.
and none of you went back for it.
Nope.
He ended up going back to Quayla, and with the Seglipid and the Quaylan government help, has started taking ground in his home place and basically raging a civil war against his own people
Good for him.
With the
Ah,
spoon?
good for him.
with the spoon to take
Alright,
his
well-
land and become the rightful
Well, we
ruler of
didn't
it.
directly cause that.
Oh,
we
it's
just-
with the help of the Quaylan government. I mean, this is approved by the
Yeah,
UNQ.
Kostia likes him.
Okay.
He's a good guy. He's on the good side, technically. But yeah, that'll actually be something when you're starting up in the next campaign. That will be relative news if you're in the right area, and things you might hear about is how the Huglepit Civil War is going. Mind you, Iridai's in so many wars of its own right now that what's the relevance? Who cares? That's like
It's a magic
3,000
spoon.
miles away from us. They would just call it would be a club. The word of it being a spoon would never reach Iridai because people would look at that and go, "That's ridiculous. It's not a spoon. It's a club," and the story would change to club.
Spin.
One question. Since we're kind of in a little different format today, when are we taking our natural break?
Right now, actually, I was about to get into that.
'Cause I
We're
have
gonna
to pee
do.
so bad.
Yeah, we're gonna do a quick 5 to 10 minute. It's not gonna be the full break like normal because we're only
Yeah.
doing a few hours. But when we come back, we only have a few more things to address from the Michael Howe arts. I love the spelling and all this, by the way. And we'll have to talk about Admiral Saber, who is a new admiral in the Chalice Estates.
I just saw
I'm
Zelda
sure-
Elves comments. I'm sorry.
I'm sure they want to know about Admiral Sabre, but we'll also talk about Admiral Saber as well. Why not? We'll be right back, everyone. 10 to 15.
Hello there. As a guest of the Owlbear Inn, you obviously have taste. Now, as a person of taste, have you ever thought to yourself, I need to watch an artist who also has taste, with a sense of classiness and intelligence, heightened by sitting in a leather armchair before a fireplace with shelves of books behind? Neither have I. Anyways, I happen to have an art channel called Michael How Arts here on Twitch if you want to check it out. There's drawing, chatting, and sometimes gaming. If you enjoy fantastic characters and comics, or just having someone to hang out with while doing art, you should give Michael How Arts a look-see. That's twitch.tv/Michael How Arts. And if you visit, maybe, just maybe, you'll occasionally have that artist sitting in front of a fireplace to give you a +1 to the richness and culture of your Twitch experience. Though I wouldn't count on that. But please, do stop on by. Thanks for your time, and have a wonderful day.
I'm Michael Howe, and I approve this message. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, I did this, and 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 this.
Hello, everybody.
Fine
All
store.
campaign, all I wanted was to pass wisdom saving throws, and I never do.
Even with advantage?
I have advantage. I have plus. All my feats almost have all been going into that direction. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
Consent is always important.
Agreed.
Who next?
Why am
totally
I
not dead.
so bad at this game? Jeez.
Might be genetics.
Attack first. Think never. Hey, folks.
You feel a definite pulse of magical energy as you shake his hand.
You just made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Roll a will save.
There's more up there? We have to... I fucking hate this level.
We could have been playing Valheim.
Dog, dog, dog. Save me, save me. Where are you? Get in front of me. Get in front of me. Get in front of me.
I'm coming. I was marking the cave.
Dogs. Stand up. Ah! Get the dog. Help.
Hello, folks.
There. Apparently, I can't remember your name at all.
Who's Ingrid?
You.
You.
Me?
Irving.
Oh,
Yes, because I can't think. Wow. Why am I having such a hard freaking time with names today?
you called me Murphy twice before
Yeah.
we even started.
Shut up, Melvin. I'm working here.
Alrighty, naked.
That's
a good drawing, right?
Damn right, Zach, that's good.
Good. Oh my gosh. Love it.
Thank you.
Wow.
With someone. Wait, you just said they had a book.
That being
Yes.
said, we will.
Yes.
And then
keep
you
up.
emphasize that there is a book.
Holy! Way to catch on to that like a minute and a half late. There's books, there's diaries, there's maps.
Wait, there's a book? We have not been consistent with this at all, have we?
No.
I'm not even gonna try and pronounce most of those. Wow.
Yeah, they had a sale on apostrophes that day.
Hello, everybody.
I don't know what's really going on. Hi!
We have you on speakerphone.
I was just gonna say, this is one hell of a collect call, man. I didn't know he knew infallible relay.
Does anyone know what the rates are? I don't have that much gold.
Did you know back in the old days, in the medieval times, they used to put lanterns, hang lanterns out on front of horses to help them navigate during nighttime?
Oh.
It was the first recorded instance of satellite navigation.
I enjoyed the live action The Avatar movie.
Oh, baby Baba Luba. And burble as it came.
No!
Can I get a oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're only to be addressed as you as your own person, what do I do if there's like a whole bunch of y'all?
You may use titles as, I would say, the trolls. You may use the consequences if
Okay.
you would like.
So
You
y'all
may-
is off the table.
Y'all is an abomination.
A whole bunch of y'all.
Too late.
That's when you guys look over and see what once was Jitters descend slowly onto the ground, trampling towards you as its head from top to about past the sternum splits like that.
Hey, we're going back a little earlier than our break normal. Hi,
Yeah.
Marky Gaming. What's up? Thanks for the raid. Sneak attack indeed.
Big time, thanks.
Roll a d20, see if you survive. 16. I did pretty well.
Let's
Hey,
see.
welcome. This is our
You don't want to know what I rolled.
This is a campaign wrap-up for our Tales of Andrea campaign. 2 years going strong, and it finally ended last week. So we're talking about the characters and everything going on, lore-wise, and what's kind of coming up next. Little teasers and bits about that have been slipping through the whole time. We're also celebrating our 2-year anniversary as well. So go ahead and type in that wonderful little exclamation point dice to enter in for the wonderful giveaway. We're going to be selecting 3 of them at the end of the stream. It's for a dice set that look like that. There you go. For those wonderful dice sets there. 3 of them, if you don't want the dice set, we'll also do a $10 Steam card. Keep in mind there is a 3-day waiting period until that happens because you have to friend an account before they can send you a gift card. That kind of situation stuff. And if you don't want to do the address, Amazon delivers to delivery locations. Yay! So you could just give us one of those. That'll work there. But yeah, exclamation point dice. We're going to talk about the characters more and the campaign and other little bits.
More questions?
We do have a few more. Okay.
Those are fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Role of deities. Can they directly interfere, or is it all through agents like your Andrea? It's all through agents like your Andrea, the priestesses and high priests and high priestesses. They're kind to their religions, and their roles kind of deviate from continent to continent as to what they're worshipped for and what they do.
This brings up a point I was going to ask about.
Yeah.
Because Brolog the Unyielding desire was to be able to protect his friends and the followers of the Creed. And if he can't, if he can only interact to assist his friends, as we mentioned last time, he won't be able to do the second part, really. Was that you just can't do that? Or was that an oversight sort of situation?
It was more you can't, like, if a rock's gonna accidentally fall on someone's head, you can't interfere and stop that rock from falling on the head. You can't do stopping natural disasters to save your clan, that kind of situation. You can protect on day to day of, they might trip and break their leg on that. We'll just, cause them to falter their step for a second to change where they're stepping instead. That kind of situation. Minor little.
Find someone that can definitely.
So he can interact in smaller ways.
Smaller ways, never in a personal way of having a conversation with or directly swatting something out of the way. It's much more the subtleties of life, like having a butterfly or a bee fly by your face to make you stumble a small amount. That's kind of the role of the gods at this point.
Gotcha.
They speak directly through the voice of the deities, which is Yolandriel, until he dies.
My top friend.
Exactly.
That's a fair question on that. Brolog and the Knowing God, the Knowing God. I mean, mind you, okay, Knowing God's a different field, but Brolog the Unyielding will still be a very unknown deity. In Iridai, at least. They'll be most known in Koila and Andrea. Largest following, Andrea, Nutra. But the Creed is something that doesn't get along with most societies. So it won't spread too strongly.
Maybe won't spread too well, but spreads strongly where
There
it
we
goes.
go. Yeah. The places where it fits, it'll spread strongly, but it won't be predominant. Prologue, let's just say Prologue will never be the dominant god. Because he won't have the backing behind him. As far as the knowing god, they've always been a secret, basically. Like a secret among themselves. They have this kind of cult following that doesn't really preach the knowing or know of them. You have to search them out to find them. You have to be drawn to search them out to find them. They will always be the least worshipped and least followed. If you encounter a follower of the knowing god, oh boy, you're like 1 in a million. What's next?
That's a good question.
Which one?
What's next?
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a good one. Hinted at Praspidus' and Abarat's desires that would have been taken into account by the wish. Anything like that happen? Praspidus was dead, and his greatest desires when he died was for Kostia to be freed, and she was freed, so check. Abarat, he just wanted to spread, so yeah, his spread is successful. Every tree he tries to plant to spread his race to different continents is a success. It sprouts and grows nice and big. All because of that ridiculous wish.
Are his trees creepy or something?
It really
Or would not-
depends on how you look at it.
Would Brolog think his trees are creepy?
If he didn't know Abarat, yeah.
Well, I mean, are they creepy in such a way that locals would try to chop them down?
Really depends on your location. And if you had like the Creed in Irdai, yeah, probably they wouldn't realize that's an Abarat tree. But in Andrea, the process of growing the trees is much more communicated, because one of the islands is populated by Abarats.
Oh.
So, but I mean, no. So if you knew that it was an Abarat tree, is it the sort of thing where like that tree does creepy things and kills my sheep?
Oh no, it just looks
Should I
super
cut
creepy.
it down?
It's
it just looks
perfectly
creepy.
fine.
Okay.
It just looks creepy.
Okay. Well, okay.
Imagine a giant rotting tree that smells of death and plague and fungus and all that grossness.
But doesn't actually spread plague and fungus.
Nope. Sticks with inside its parameters.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. How knowledgeable is Prologue now? Spoilers. Does he find out Wisp lied about tattoos? Yes. And what does he do if so? Yeah, that's a good question, Prologue.
In what way did he lie?
The story he gave you that you rolled on that check for?
Oh, yes. That was, so let me just remember it right. So Wisp had a tattoo that Brolog would have considered unholy, and he made up a story about why it was holy, and Brolog did not realize, but now that he has ascended, he does realize. Am I remember that right?
Yeah.
He would probably, given the right circumstances, put a little bees in some of the followers' way so they come across Wisp. So yeah, they have to ask the question again. Wisp is I mean, he is sort of it's a difficult case because he did directly assist Brolog in his creed, giving him that 2, which was, useful throughout his journey. But Brolog is also the unyielding, So, that being said, he probably would not have gone out of his way to do something against Wisp. But if he saw, like, that is a follower of the Creed next to the Wisp who lied to me. Bees and flies do things.
Bees and flies do things. You see these 3 bees circling in a counterclockwise form over this guy's head. That means skin him.
Get him!
Get rid of those tattoos.
Followers know.
Oh.
Bees just become synonymous with the Creed. It's like, those are bees. I know.
No, please don't do that.
What is he communicating? That is the downside of being really good friends with Brolog, wouldn't you say? It's not all strawberries and cream.
Let's see, we got Zelda9 Studios with a clip here. Oh, one of my favorite rally moments was her getting the final blow on the giant purple worm. She just yelled at it to death.
Oh.
Was that when Peter was being...
No, that was with the dragon.
I
Oh,
was me, and your Laundriel had been eaten.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because he always gets eaten.
Yeah. I always managed to eat your Laundriel, no one else.
Oh, yeah.
Give me that body pillow.
Speaking of body pillow, ladies and gentlemen, we have a merch store, and soon there should be a body pillow in there. You know?
Wait, really?
No.
I'm saying there should be, though. There should be.
We don't have the funds to get a Laundriel body art. The full body art, only the head. We could do that with our future characters, though, because Kaz, the wonderful DM, is doing our next campaign's art, and we got full bodies with those. Yo, we can do body pillows. You know, forward thinking. Little teaser.
All we're gonna do is sell pillows. That's it.
That's it, yep.
No, this is what we'll do.
We're
We'll
turning
sell
into
the
a pillow
cases.
manufacturing.
You buy the pillows on your own.
Yes. What happens with the pillows after that is not our responsibility.
No, it's not at all. Not in the slightest.
Use said pillows as you wish.
Anyways, so what was the question
your
about the
head.
purple worm?
If you want to have an entire campaign-filled pillow fort.
It wasn't about the purple worm. It was your quote of you yelling at the purple worm for it to die. Or
what
yelling
did I
it to
say?
death. I don't remember what you said.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
clip I can't bring up, otherwise a bunch of noise will start happening.
I do actually have a little book of various eloquent insults to yell at people, so it probably came from there. It's a pocketbook. It's very handy.
I like eloquent insults. They're great.
Mhm.
No one realizes that's an insult until it's too late. What's next here? That's Brillock 1. Why Mega's childbirth mortality rate so high? Verbatim for what's typed. Complications. I have an answer, but as far as what the party knows and what they've been told during the questions of what the table for lore-wise is there are complications to being a Magus that they don't even fully understand themselves. Magus race was created after Eshnar made his wish, so they are a byproduct of his terminology behind his wish. They don't even know how they were created, or what made them what they are, or how they can do the things that they do. So, they don't know why they have an 80% mortality rate, they just know that they do. And the whole reason Marcus went on his spiel of going out there and experimenting on people was so he could have an unrestrained system to try to figure out what was going on with the Magus to fix it. He never got his answer. Even with his wish, which resulted in the byproduct of the creation and separation of his feelings into an embodiment of its own entity, which is the unknown enemy that you all fought. It was the other voice having his way with his wish and creating something saying, oh, you want to not feel remorse? Great. You won't feel remorse. He will instead for you. He is your remorse embodied in a being. And now they have a conscience. Let's see what your remorse does compared to you. That kind of situation. Marcus made a whole mess. It was great. And now he's gone.
I'm gonna wring Marcus's neck.
And he never even got his answers, which was probably the saddest thing. Never figured out how to fix them. Hmm. Here's one for everyone. What was your favorite story arc of the game? Of the whole campaign?
Favorite story arc?
That's a good question.
Could you define story arc?
Could
push
you
that
use
made-
it in a sentence?
The story arc of this character was dope. There it is in a sentence for you. For a definition, it's like the path of the character from where it starts, or the path of a quest from where it starts to where it finishes. Whether the being a negative arc or a positive arc, flat arcs are boring as hell. But the top positive or negative arc, what was your favorite
Flat
story
arcs
arc?
are necessary.
Flat arcs are boring.
No, they're necessary
No,
to
they're not.
storytelling. Yes, they are. I bet you some of your favorite characters in movies have a flat arc and you don't even realize it.
That'll be something we can die on a hill of.
I think my favorite arc was I think Aberrat going from a fungal boy to becoming like this entirely multiplicitous mind.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty good arc. It's a good way to end up.
Strong finish.
If
to that
anybody
character.
got their wish before any of us, it was Aberrat.
That's true. My favorite was killing that one guy from the commander from the beginning of the campaign that locked me up, and then I absolutely trounced him. Just absolutely trounced him the second round.
We'll talk about massive negative arc. That guy.
Yep.
Poor old Hagduin. He had a really great life until you walked into it.
Yes, sir. That's me. And then I ended it because it got in my way.
Yeah. Bye-bye now.
I don't know if it's not very archy, perhaps. But one of the first notes that I made, let me just where to go, is it's on the very first page. It said, "We talked to a scholar from Laban." That's the end of that note. And the next line is, "He spoke of dragons by the volcano." And dragons is in bold. And I don't think Brolog ever forgot that moment when it was like, there is a dragon. We can go get it. And so when it came finally time to do that and get in there, and then not only to cut the dragon in half with a natty 20 on the uwu, I believe.
I believe it was a natty 20 on the uwu.
It was an uwu dice.
Also, as a part of that, to save Yolandriel from being taken away, I felt that felt like the culmination of what Brolog was been trying to do since he arrived in Andrea. Aside from ascending, what have you, that was kind of a byproduct. But yeah,
that was I actually think my favorite story arc was Brolog's in general, actually, because we went from skinning our own party members for having a different definition of worthy to forgiving those around and giving them at least a second chance to explain and learn about the creed, as opposed to, oh, you don't know anything about the creed, I'm going to kill you now, to, you don't know anything about the creed, let me tell you about the creed. Okay, you offended me, apologize.
I don't think he ever killed anybody about it.
No, no, that was something we we
I
talked
absolutely
about.
yeeted that paper mache guard, though.
Yes, yes, he
Absolutely
did,
yeeted
and he
that
got
fool.
thrown in prison for it.
Yep, that was an accidental death on my part. Sorry. You know, in like anime when it's hit by like a beam and like all the color shifts, like all the color drains out, and they're like, they're like stuck in a pose before they like evaporate. That's pretty much what happened to that poor guard.
Oh no.
Oh, talk about face melting in Indiana Jones.
Total
Yep.
obliteration.
I think I used the level 4 moonbeam to protect myself, and because he was technically touching me, it just absolutely yeeted him.
11 health, and he rolled close to max damage.
Yeah.
He didn't need a level 4 spell.
Nope.
Lesson learned.
Anyway.
Well, arc-wise, let's see, what? Excuse me. What is your favorite part about your character? About playing your character? What are you gonna miss the most?
I love being an idiot. I love purposefully being an idiot to make my character, to just like give my character a little bit of like meat, you know? Because I was pretty much just pretending to be Jack, the character Jack from Big Trouble in Little China.
Hmm.
He's there to help, and he kind of thinks he's the main character a little bit, but he's not. By all rights, he's not, and he shouldn't be. And he kind of fumbles his way into winning. And
That's a good description.
Yeah.
Well, knowing where I'm going next, I'm gonna miss the rage. And,
Gotta miss the
and just swimming in it. Yeah.
That damage reduction.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss. I don't realize I'm gonna miss that yet, but I think that'll come later.
You're gonna get hit by something and it's gonna say 24 damage. Half to 12. No, you're not a barbarian anymore. Oh. I only have 32 health.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, my next character, slight spoiler wording, works with explosives, and we start at level 3, so that should be a fun time.
But favorite part of these characters and things you miss the most, Tangerine Ben.
Much to consider. You know, this is inconsequential, to be honest, but I liked using the word "your" a lot. It doesn't work in my regular life when I say it with my regular voice.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's a good one. All of those like multiple contraction words that they use in the South, you know, it's a good time, but I can't get away with saying it. Also, just being able to like inspire people with a ridiculous song, but the bardic version. It's like, okay, we're going into battle, poker face.
But with a lute.
With a lute.
The song Poker Face.
Yeah.
Yes. Not actually
This is
going
a Lady
in
Gaga household.
poking someone's face.
Well, I was thinking like she goes in the battle with a poker face. You know, don't let the enemy know. I was like, I don't think Relly ever did that ever.
No, she did not.
Always wear the face on. Jartis?
What was the question again?
Favorite part of playing the character?
Favorite part? I would say my favorite part was the resourcefulness, I think, that the moon druid build tends to have. There was just so many options.
Very in these trying times.
Yeah, it was like there was just so much. There was offense, there was defense, there was wild shape, there was so much. That often was a difficult thing to work with, but overall I think it was a very strong positive that like me as a player, I had to overcome like all of these options and just be like, okay, what works? What works? We just need to focus on what works.
Did you ever get to use your geese spell?
Guys?
Gaius, yes.
Oh, no.
Geese.
Geese.
I
Flock of
wanted to
geese.
so bad. That one where you just like control somebody for a month. It's like that one would have been some long-term espionage. I wanted that just like as like I don't know, just like the Tom Clancy novel of like just super long-term like planning and politics. It's like that would have just been so fun. I don't know.
I had
The
a
Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, just like something.
I had a wonderful solution if you tried using that on one of the changelings or the things under the unknown's control. Wouldn't have worked. Not an high enough spell. They're already under the control of something else.
Oh no.
Couldn't supersede. You'd have to cast it like a level 7 in order for it to
Oh,
work.
no.
But you would have learned some important information by casting and trying that. Every time a failed spell happens, I always try to give something of knowledge. Because you just used
Failed
a spell
because you're
slot.
a dunce. Suck on that.
Unless that is the case, in which case the last combat with what Relly did with the unknown and the anti-magic shield, I was like, they forgot. I'm not going to remind them. I'm just going to let that be a forgot thing. And yeah, okay, cast spell. Nothing happens. Which is always unfortunate.
I've done that quite a few times. Bork.
Bork. Bork. He sounds. I love my sweet boy. He's such a sweet dog. But when he wants your attention, he barks like he's mad at you. And for strangers, that's not nice. Like for strangers, they're like, "Oh, what the hell?" But we're like, "No, he's just talking. Like he'll shut up in a second. Just give him."
He's being a good boy. Let's see. For the innkeeper, after Garch has made his bombshell of a wish, well phrased again, how much did you panic thinking about how to fit it into the ending of the campaign? Okay, so first off, yes, they're saying, oh, that's my hook. That's what I was relying on, is the wish having a hook, having something I can play with inside of it, and something I can say, okay, yeah, I can tone this down in case something over the top was given. Which, the benevolent wishes of all the consequences to be fulfilled, yes, that's over the top. But it gave me enough wiggle room to be able to say, not fully everything is happening. Because the one Ethan sent me, the wish Ethan made, was basically all combat in Nathriel done over peace rest of the time, rest of existence.
I will read exactly what I
You can read it.
because it's
But
very
when coming
vague.
from your
This is the
Laundriel, that
thing.
was a...
Yeah, this is the thing.
That's what he means.
Yeah, so it was part 3 of the thing. For this realm to be safe from danger, so I never have to do this shit again. That is the exact wording.
And that's the kind of stuff that's
pretty bold.
Reasons why DMs don't usually allow the wish spell to happen is because of, like, you never know if the players, because it's very explicit in the description. Literally anything they ask for can happen, but with the DM's discretion on things, which means you can wish for world peace for all eternity. Not something I will ever allow to happen. Because then there's no story.
Well,
it's just
world
boring.
peace can
People
be achieved
talking
through a
to each
number of
other.
violent ways.
That's why there was no sequel to The Lord of the Rings.
True, that's why they had to do prequels.
That's literally why he stopped writing the sequel to The Rings. Because he was like, it's either really boring or really depressing. Because his idea for it, this is the Tolkien minute here with Ethan. The idea for it was that the age of man began to decay, and that the threats that man now faced were just men, were just the machinations of men. And he was like, that's too close to real life. This is a fantasy story.
Yeah, that the exclamation of, oh, that's my hook, though, was all the consequences. So that meant I got to include Aberrat, Anubisai, Praspidus, and all of the consequences. Yeah, you can wish for level 10 spells to exist again, Chav. I don't want that to happen. No. I don't want to give any more power to the players. They already had enough.
Oh my gosh.
What up, Excalibur? Who knows? They buggered off. Would Jartis Gartis meet up with them again and introduce his parents? Well, you know, if they ever came back from the Fey Realm, Rowley went to the Fey Realm and probably has more encounters with Excalibur than Gartis does.
And who knows, Ileana, she was quite aggressive.
She probably showed up in wherever you were in one of your tours going, we're having some fun, dragging you away, and then having fun and disappearing.
That's how the Seder Tot legacy was born.
It's how he had kids. Oh. Oh, that's all the questions we had inside the Tea Time Table Talk section there.
All right.
Oh, wait, except for what happened to Admiral Saber? Admiral Saber is a later on admiral that appears around 25 to 30 cycles after the events of the consequences. They join the Chalice estate and just live a mediocre life. Admiral Sabre has a wonderful ship that is intercontinental and can travel across seas, so they immediately became a favorite admiral for doing sailing vessels of exploratory missions. Because even the flying ships, they didn't have that much storage, so they couldn't travel that far. And with the archipelago of the gods not being explored, no way of guaranteeing they'll even survive that, they had to rely on a land vessel or a sea vessel that had the storage to sail different places. So Sabre, you could meet inside Campaign 2 potentially, if you're in the right place, right time. And as far as how rich they got, stinking rich.
Good for her.
Time of exploration, people going out exploring new places, having that kind of ship, you're going to get a lot of commissions and payments, and paid quite handsomely. Supply and demand. There's a lot of demand. You're the only supply. Wisp, he disappeared.
Were there bees seen beforehand?
Bees? Yeah, sure, why not?
Please don't make bees a Brolog's revenge thing.
This one! Get him!
Any other insect, fine, but bees could impact some things.
I kind of want that to be the birth of the Creed in Irodai. Is Teffy falling for the bead message from Prolog?
No!
And every time you say the word we or refer to a group status, he gets stung by a bee.
No!
The Creed follows you everywhere.
Every time I say we, a bee dies! I'm a leaf in the wind. Watch how I... That's how the quote ends. Oh, okay, well, that's all the questions I've got there. We've got roughly 15-ish minutes left here. Let's talk about Campaign 2. Are there any questions about Campaign 2 from audience, from all that? What we have for you right now is that it will be starting May 7th. So Sunday's got a nice month off, a couple of the weeks, 6 weeks. 6 weeks completely off in total. 3 of them are going to be the zeros for the players. A couple of them are doubling up. And 3 of them are going to be one-shots. I have this, not this Sunday. The Sunday's a zero session. The Sunday after, I have so that's April 2nd. I am just waiting on one person to confirm whether or not they can do it. And if they do, I've got a pretty cool table put together for a really, potentially really saucy one-shot, so we'll see what happens.
Saucy.
Is there spaghetti involved?
Well, there is an Italian involved, so potentially. Well, that's that stuff. As far as the next one, Ear to Die, we'll be hopping into that wonderfulness. Thoughts on that? Anything you want to tease about your characters?
Do not trust what you see.
Do not. Oh, yeah, that's a good tease. That's actually a really good tease.
I guess I've never done much of the role playing in D&D before Prologue, and so I always created characters that wouldn't have to. So like a centaur who was mute, or a big, buff Loxodon who only likes hitting things, But I've also never really played a spellcaster. And so this time around, I'm going to be doing both of those things on purpose. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
We're going to be saying, gosh, we wish we had a healer. Because whenever you always play first healer every time, first time you try to play it, you always forget you're the healer.
I'm going to try my best.
I'm try my best.
I'm excited for your character. It's going to be a fun one.
At least for me, anyways.
Let's just say my character, it'll be explosive. Let's just say that.
Oh, dear.
It's going to be a fun time.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
My character, and also me as the player, has a prop journal to use. So in addition to, like, my own note, I get to use someone else's note.
It's great.
Except, I don't know if I'll be able to read them.
They will be in my handwriting. And my handwriting, as we all know, is hot garbage. That's English, I promise.
They refer to as gobbledygook.
It's gobbledygook.
Very, very slanty. I'll give you that.
Oh, baby bubble, look at that, baby booba. Yeah, Creed, that's the only readable word I can see on first glance. Giddings in there somewhere.
I guess, because I know, I guess a little bit more of, I know some things about the other characters loosely, like what race, class they are, sort of. There's a new race coming. I don't know if there's, spoilers are out. I don't know if we're allowed to speak about it, or not.
It's technically a few.
Okay, well, I was just speaking about rallies.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever their thing is.
So that's her class, not race.
Oh, you're right. My apologies. Class.
Technically, we're actually going to have to homebrew a race, too.
What?
A hybrid.
Does she not have bones, Murray?
You have bones. You have bones. You just also have a really hard exoskeleton.
Are they a lobster?
No, they're an earth water
It's a crab. It's a crab. Crab's
it's like
crab.
you're made of earth, but you're humanoid, so you do have bones. You've got both.
Like
you're
crab,
more protected.
like
it's
people.
fine. Crabs are people. Legit or quit. Thank you, Lewis of the Oakscast.
Okay.
Why does it disturb me that you've got both?
Because bones go on the inside.
Yes, they do.
And only on the inside. If bones are on the outside, something's wrong.
You don't have bones on the outside. You have like an harder, earthy layer on the outside.
I'm coated in dirt. Nice, good.
You're technically mud because your water, earth, ganassi mix, and
Air.
someone pointed
Air and
out that
earth.
makes air and earth. Never mind. Sorry,
I am
Well-
a sandstorm of a person.
Yeah.
Which is why I almost drowned twice in my childhood. I feel like if I was a water combo.
Totally could. I don't know.
That's why
We'll
you
make it
should have
work
upped
somehow.
your pontoon stat in grade 2.
No, I'm actually gonna have to be homebrewing content for all of your peoples.
Hot dang.
There's 3 homebrewed classes so far, which means we're gonna
And
be
like mine is like slightly homebrew.
Slightly
like
home-
ever.
the
it's
most
just tweaked.
relaxed of all classes here is that
Yes, it's
one.
me.
Actually, Ben's is pretty relaxed, and his his race is the least homebrewed out of everyone's, potentially, except for your boring standard always human.
Hey, I'm not always human.
No, that's fair. That's true. You were a black dragonborn once.
It's the feet. It's the extra feet that
It
human
is.
variant gives you. That
It
it
is.
it starts to be a
Feet are
crutch
dope.
after a little while. Ugh.
Oh,
So that is to say, I brought that up because I would like to know more about this class incoming, if that information is, available for public
Ooh.
knowledge.
ooh. Oh, well, Gene Warrior. Yeah, Gene Warriors are for public knowledge. So the place we're going to, Irodai, in the time frame as it stands, this event called the Gene Wars happened and ended just over 300 years ago. So your character, Peter, would be the closest one to being alive during that time frame. Except for that one, but that's backstory we won't get into. So the Gene Wars, they're exactly that. People's genes got messed with and changed and manipulated in a lot of different ways, and mad scientists released altering gases into cities to see how it affected people. That was their way of experimenting, was by attacking a city, essentially. So it was a very hectic and chaotic time. A lot of people died. The continent nearly died. The cities are not as populated as you might imagine them to be. When I say a battle, you're only talking about maybe a couple of hundred soldiers on this, not thousands or close to 1,000. Italians are small. There aren't that many people left. 300 years is not that much time. It's enough to populate a good chunk, but not that much. Gene Warriors are a result of that. In results, a location took the herbs and the stuff they have, took the research they had from the mad scientists, and developed small little potions that can alter their own DNA for a short time frame, like what gillyweed would do inside the HP world. Gives you gills for a while. Then after the hour time, you revert back to your normal state. That's kind of what the Gene Warrior does. You can take it and you can give yourself the strength of a gorilla for a time frame. Or you can give yourself the intelligence of an octopus, because they're actually really freaking smart, IRL-wise. I don't know about their stat block. For a short time. You can, later on in the levels, you can give yourself eagle wings for a time period. But altering yourself in extreme ways gives yourself exhaustion rates. Later on in your 20th level feat for them is you no longer gain exhaustion. You can drink however many concoctions you want. You're just an OP badass. But before that, you can only drink one concoction at a time. You can only alter so many things. If you drink another one, it overseeds the previous benefit. So you're all about the situation. You have a concoction to help you fight better or work better in the situation. It's like a special agent of sorts with abilities in their pockets.
I assume they have to make this juice?
They do.
Is that hard and or time consuming?
A little bit, yeah. It's time consuming. Each one takes an hour to do, and you have to spend time in the morning and afternoon to make it. It's kind of a preparation process. And if you don't make it, and it's all written out fairly nicely. I think I got all the details
Yeah.
figured out quite nicely for it. We'll see how it plays. We might mess around a little bit with how some of the stuff. That's how homebrewing works, though. You need to mess with it and then alter and change to balance things out. But the big thing you'll probably find Tangerine's character doing is taking samples of all the creatures you kill. Because that's one of the key ingredients, is they need a sample of the creature.
Sadly, yes.
You might have a hard time getting samples.
It's called going out and picking up some deer scat. Or bear scat. I mean, that stuff works as samples too. You don't need to actually kill the thing. You could use drool. They don't have to die. They can live. We could take some of their blood.
Can Gene Warriors gain aspects of certain plants?
No,
Just animals. Okay.
that's a druid thing.
Right.
If you want something like that, you got to go to the Slaybar Kingdom? I can't remember what I called them. In the Quaylen areas. they do stuff like that.
We're gonna start
for
getting
them.
into some Animorph territory.
Yes,
Mhm.
Nice.
absolutely are. If you ever meet that person's Teffy's parents, the father has visible signs of having been a gene warrior and
Oh, he
permanent.
does?
Oh yeah, he's got scales marking part of the side of his face from a messed up concoction that he drank. Permanent
Fish
change
scales
to
or
his body.
reptile scales?
Reptile scales.
Good for him. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're a class I've been dabbling with in my head for a while. I'm glad someone looked at that one and said, "Yeah, I want to do that one," which is really exciting. And then everyone else said, "I want to do a homebrewed class." Crap.
What's tough when you have like an idea in your head of like, I want to do this, and then you look through all the classes and you're like,
They just
none of
don't
these
fit.
do that.
Yeah, which is
What are you gonna do?
I like homebrewing though, so I think the
Shoot,
person
I should homebrew mine now.
Too late.
You will have to have that done by the end of today.
No.
If you wanted to do that.
It's
Too
far
late
too
to
lazy.
Your
Hey,
zero's
okay, so-
next week.
Yeah, speaking of which, at the end of this, we should discuss, because you still haven't told me whether or not we're rolling for stats or we're
yeah.
using point buy, so you needed to let me know that before next
We're
week.
rolling. We're rolling. I know you all
Okay.
want to
We
roll.
are?
Yeah, we're gonna roll. I know you all want to roll.
I don't know. I wanted to do point by. I already did it.
Oh, you already did point buy? Oh dear.
I'd
Well,
rather
unless you
roll.
do
I
roll
feel like
somewhat
my
in a
luck
different way that I'm
a little
aware
bit
of.
Okay,
But
so
anytime I've ever done roll, it's been horrible. So,
some people will do, you take 3d6 and you roll them and you add up those numbers and that's what you get. I think it's weird. Add a fourth d6. You roll those and say, like, I'm rolling these 4d6. I just got a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Out of those 4, the 1 goes bye-bye. Ignore it, because it's the lowest dice. And you add up the 4, the 5, and the 6. You can roll a maximum of 18. You can roll a minimum of 3. Out of that kind of combination. The likelihood of getting a 3, though, is really slim. It's more increased chances of getting an 18. You then take that 15 out of the 4, the 5, and the 6 that I rolled, and you write that down as one of your stats.
do you get to choose which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll do that then. That might sound. So maybe I can do that.
Nice.
And I will usually go in after you roll and then change stats, look at which one you used as a dump stat and change it to an 8. And then look at the one that you used as a higher stat, and if you didn't roll an 18, turn it into an 18. Because I always like to emphasize the fact that there is something everyone is always bad at doing. And there is something that everyone's always excellent at doing. So the 18, that's what you're excellent at doing. The 8, that's what you're bad at doing. Charisma is usually my dump stat. Personally, when I play.
Yeah, but intimidation is so juicy.
Use strength. Use strength for intimidation, yeah.
I know, but charisma based, because I love spitting out words that make someone
Persuasion is
shit
pretty
themselves.
Just mention cloacas and we'll all just run away.
Or write something saucy for the Zelda Elf 90 Studios to read off. If you all want to see that clip, that's in Geekier Night's side of things.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes.
That's a saucy one. All right, last little comments. Don't forget, everyone, exclamation point dice to win some juicy, lovely little dice.
Yes. Last little comments. Well, just in general, thank you, Murray. This was all your thing, and you spent
fun stuff.
Many a hour on it, and yeah, it's a hell of a time. Couldn't think of a better way to spend 4 hours every Sunday. So.
Or change.
Yeah.
Next one's going to be very different.
Do you have any concern with the amount of homebrewness going into this campaign that we will either be really overpowered or very underpowered in what we're trying to do?
I have a feeling our favorite sentence for next campaign is going to be, "Nah, who needs the rules? Let's make our own."
Nice.
Because we've homebrewed so much already out of all the characters. Because race and class for Michael is homebrewed. Just class for you. Just race for you, Ben. Potential of maybe class. We're running out of time for that.
Yeah, I need to
Keep
figure
that in
that out
mind.
really quick.
Yeah, we'll need to figure that out soon. Class and half race for the Tangerine, and just half class for your Andrea. There's homebrewing involved in all of it, but it does kind of fit this one. I don't want to do the whole overpowery thing, but there are going to be aspects of it because it's also going to be very. I'm not going to be shy about making it feel like an anime.
Oh, nice.
I don't watch enough anime to know what that means. Is it good for me?
You're gonna have some goofy friendship-related adventures.
It's gonna be goofy. It's gonna be pretty goofy with high intense, serious moments, but mainly powered and driven by all of you. It's open world. I've written quest lines. Whether or not you attach to it is up to you.
Oh man.
The question is, do any of us have pink or blue hair? Because if this is an anime, that means that you are the main character.
This guy does.
Yes.
My guy does not.
He's
It's
the main
blue
character?
hair. So I guess he's the main. He's definitely not a good guy. I guess we're rooting for the enemy's next campaign. Tangerine
The
officially
anime opening
declared.
starts is with this game.
It's with the. Oh boy. All right, sunshine. Applause, applause, and applesauce. You all did a fantastic job. Thanks, Zelda of 90 Studios. Yeah. Well, I think that's about it right there. Unless we got any little lasties.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It
Yes.
was really fun.
Thanks, everybody at home.
We are going to do wonderful things with the zeros. We're going to record those and leave them as teasers, potentially, for future points. Like, the thought is, when we hit the core main point of one of the characters, I'll have a little backstory of the zero session put together to do during the break whenever that starts happening, but those will get recorded.
Hell yeah.
Let's close out.
Find out who won.
That.
Are we gonna raid?
No, we're doing that giveaway thing first.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Always.
First, we're gonna rage.
First we're gonna rage. Then we're gonna rage.
Snip. So we can snip these.
I don't know. I think that was one of my favorite moments in the whole campaign. It was anytime Brolog was like, all right, first, we're going to rage. Let's just establish that fact.
What's up, nice Tangerine? You just won.
That's me.
That's
I got some
you.
click-clacks.
You got some clickety clacks.
Nice.
I'll send you some stuff. And next person. Nope. Next person. Michael the Howards. That's an easy one. Hey, congrats, Michael Howe.
That's nice.
Let's get rid of the no, we don't want the Alberan winning. Let's get rid of that one. And the Rytak, who actually Rytak, I'm not gonna lie, I think this was something I sent you as a DM gift when you joined in, so we might need to. I'll find another set of dice for you and get you something special. Congratulations to the Rytak, to the Michael Howards, and to the Tangerine for getting their wonderful sets of dice. We'll get those sent over to you. Thanks everyone for joining in and celebrating our 2-year anniversary and the end of the Tales of Andrea. We will see you all on April 2nd for a special one-shot with, I can confirm right now, the Zelda of 90 Studios, Michael Howards, and Eldritch Bass. I'm waiting on one other person for whether or not that's going to be the full lovely little thing I have planned. Because if it is, oh boy. Until Tuesday, though.
Oh boy.
We are going to raid someone. Who do we want to raid? Let's refresh my page.
We've got a few people.
Oh, and big thanks to the Marquee Gaming for
Yes.
raiding today. Always lovely seeing him pop in. It's been a while since you raided. Hey, the damage. The damage is gone. We never get to
Good.
read the damage. Let's do
Yes.
Nice.
that. Ah, it's an easy. There we go. Easy peasies. Ha. Well, I guess Tales of Andrea for the last time is signing out.
Yep.
We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Love you all. Bye.
The end may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles and shouts.